I can't even describe it. I was thinking about it a couple of nights ago and I got real anxious laying in bed just thinking about it, but I was dying and I was doing everything I could to come back or hold it back in my mind anyway. It may not have been physically going on, but in my mind it was. And I remember finally giving up and saying, I can't fight this anymore. I'm going to die. I just got it. And I remember saying to myself, I'm just going to have to go with it.
At that point, my mom's friend had gotten over there and called me back right as we were pulling up to my house, and she said, your dad's fallen out of a tree. We don't know how serious it is. He's talking, but the ambulance just got here and you need to get over here.
I start to try to get up and I can't move my legs, so I know at that point that it's serious. I don't have any reason to think it's going to get better.
And I remember he was in the ambulance, and I remember asking if I could see him, and COVID had just started, so I didn't know if they were going to let me go in the ambulance and see my dad, or I didn't know if I was going to ever see him. I didn't know if I was going to ever see him again, because we didn't know if there were internal injuries, and I thought, well, I've got to get in that ambulance to see him in case I never see him again.
And so the doctor told us that Dad was paralyzed from the waist down and that they had done surgery to correct the spinal cord and to correct the spine. They had removed some bone, had of course, fused that part of his back that was broken, and that they didn't know how severe his spinal cord injury was.
Finally, Kelly, believe it or not, after that kind of day and that kind of surgery, called me probably about 9 in the morning. And Cassidy was there, and we got Kelly on the phone. We always got each other on the phone and prayed together once we talked to him. And we just made a plan right away. And after we talked to Kelly, we did a lot of planning without him, the three of us. And I remember after he called and we actually got to hear his voice and that he was okay. After he hung up, the three of us talked and prayed and just talked and prayed, and we decided that going forward, there were a lot of plans to make, and we decided that whatever we did, we were going to get him the best.
So I met Kelly on May 27th, 2020. So his injury was in March, and he had been in inpatient rehab and just had gotten home, I believe maybe the weekend before he started here. And when I first met him, he came in using a manual wheelchair, which is typical for someone with a spinal cord injury. His injury was in his thoracic lumbar area. He'd had spinal surgery, obviously, to decompress his spinal cord.
So when Kelly first came to us, he was unable to walk unassisted. He was using braces on both of his legs. He was still using an assisted device, a walker. And over the last several months, we've been able to progress to no assisted device at times. He's using just a walking stick at times. He's not using his braces at all for the most part. He's come such a long ways in just a few months. We're excited to continue to see him improve. One of his biggest difficulties functionally when he first started was not being able to sit and stand without assistance, or especially without something to hold on to by the time he got up. And now he's able to stand up from a very low surface without any arms. He can even do it while he's holding a weight in his hand and lift it over his head or different things. We're able to challenge him with new things.
But watching him really placed something on my heart that just kind of reassured me that what I was doing, I was where I needed to be, and I was doing what I needed to be doing, in particular with Kelly.
And it's been such a blessing. Action Physical Therapy being a big part of that. Like I said, the fact that it's in Shawnee and across the street from our office has been one of my biggest blessings. We had experience with Action Physical Therapy. Sadly, my son has had a hip surgery. My daughter blew her knee totally out with snow skiing. Kelly's had some things too, so we had a lot of experience with them. So we know that they're wonderful, kind, caring, professional people.
That my job is to not only help him get better, but to achieve that next goal of getting him the highest level of functioning that he can possibly be. So allowing him to strive for things that he might not know that if he can do it, but giving him the knowledge to know it's okay if you failed. It's something to work towards if you can't do something. And he's always been 100% willing to try new things and to keep going. And he's come a long ways, but I know for sure he's not finished yet.
Jason, I think, told me once his goal was to get me on the cane. You know, if he could get me on the cane, I think he thought that he would have done his job. And I got past that. Actually been doing quite a bit of walking without any devices on my own. And I come around the corner and Jason was all teared up. And he took it so, he was so thrilled that I had surpassed his goal, I guess. And to see him teared up, you know, it meant something to him.
The other day, we were all just kind of working, doing our thing, and then all of a sudden here comes Kelly walking in on his walking stick, and being Kelly, and you know, that was just being able to see that as a therapist really just kind of uplifts your spirit and gives you again that motivation to just keep doing what you're doing, because you know, sometimes you can kind of start wondering, you know, am I doing the right thing? Are we working on the right thing? Am I pushing him hard enough? And then finally, you kind of see that come to fruition, where he's taking it on his own to get up on his feet and come walking through that door, and not using that wheelchair, not using that walker. You know, that's really just a great sight to see.